Kearney O'Sulu on Auckland, I wish to propose the motion that all televised inter-county championship matches shall be available on free-to-air. By way of clarification, this motion does not seek to convey or offer exclusivity of broadcasting rights to terrestrial TV stations, nor does the motion seek to curtail the commercial activities of Croke Park, nor to deprive our members overseas from viewing live championship matches. The sentiment and rationale of this motion is to ensure that all members in the island of Ireland have full access to senior hurling and championship football matches through universal public service broadcasting. Our association is built on the principles of inclusion and equality. Our association is about our people, our games, and our culture. The strength of universal public service broadcasting is that it provides equality of access to all communities. Pay TV subverts this equality. When a sport moves to pay TV, our members who are older, poorer, live in rural communities are substantially less likely to be able to watch games on these stations. Moving sports events to pay TV reduces the size of the audience, but it also divides the viewers into those who can pay and those who cannot.
Nicholas O'Brien, Irukdaran. The last point that Geraldine has made is actually very valid. It is very dangerous putting this motion into rule, and I would caution against that because I think it has huge implications. If you look at the financial report, in excess of 11 million in last year's accounts came in by way of TV rights. That equates to roughly what we put into our coaching games development program in the GAA. So it is a very, very significant amount. Everybody is assuming here in this debate that we're talking about Sky Sports. Let's call a spade here. That doesn't necessarily be the case. There are a number of Indigenous TV organisations who have the potential to bid for the GAA's business this time round. And there is one new Indigenous one in the south of Ireland since the last time, and there is another one financially stronger than the last time. So we shouldn't make any assumptions on that. But if you're selling a product for TV, and you're turning around and say that we're actually going to sell that product to two different parties, let one of them be free to air and let one be a pay-per-view. If that is the case, you are immediately devaluing the value of that product, and you cannot expect to get the return for the product that you're selling that you would get otherwise.
Loras McCorrick, Nuoruk. We steadfastly oppose this motion, ladies and gentlemen. As Jerry Brady suggested, it's not only young people who gather around TVs around the world. There are certain people of a certain age who do it as well and get as much enjoyment out of it, and we would be very much part of that. But the other more serious matter, I think, and Nicholas just alluded to it, anytime you reduce the number of buyers in a market, you're reducing the value of your rights. Our rights are valuable, make no mistake about that. And we shouldn't in any way impinge upon that value by reducing or by restricting the number of people who are in the market for those rights.
Diarmuid McCour, GPA. On behalf of the inter-county playing body, the GPA opposes this motion strongly. As has been mentioned already, it severely reduces the GAA's ability to negotiate the best possible deal on behalf of the association. And regardless of whatever agreement the GAA decides to strike with broadcast partners, whether that's pay-per-view or not, to restrict their bargaining power makes no sense whatsoever. From a county player's perspective, the commercial reality of this situation is that increased funding means greater support for player welfare, means wider benefits in terms of coaching, in terms of games promotion, in terms of facilities, and stretching to foreign and new audiences. So therefore, the GPA is calling on delegates to trust the leadership of the of the GAA to make the right decision and not to take that ability away from them. And we are calling on delegates to oppose this motion. Thank you.
Motion is defeated.